I had an opportunity today to go to the law library and get some materials. So this is 42 USC 2000 AA. This is what people are thinking are going to keep the government from taking their phones or cameras, and I don't think it's going to work. This is Berglund v. City of Maplewood. In Berglund v. City of Maplewood, two photographers, they were actually, they did one of those public access shows. They went to a dinner. It was a private dinner. It was hosted at a public place, but it was a private dinner, and they were charging $15 a head to get in. And these guys didn't want to pay. So one thing led to another, and they were arrested for trespass, etc. So they tried to sue, and one of the elements they tried to sue under was the Privacy Protection Act. This is the 42 USC 2000 AA, and so they failed for two reasons. First of all, the defendant's actions satisfy the criminal suspect exception. So the reason why it does this is because they went there to film this thing, and one of the guys, the whole time they were being trespassed, you know, while the police were arguing with them and people were saying, "Get out of here," from the time they were told to leave, they were trespassed, and until they were arrested for failing to leave, for criminally trespassing, one of them was recording. So he was documenting his crime, and the police said, "Thank you very much." So it satisfied the criminal suspect exception, which allows a government officer to search for and seize work, product, or documentary materials if there is probable cause to believe that the person possessing such materials has committed or is committing a criminal offense to which the materials relate. He was filming himself trespassing. It related. And there was another exception. And the other exception was the destruction of evidence exception. It allows the officer to search for and seize material relating to an investigation of a criminal matter if there's reason to believe that giving notice pursuant to a subpoena ducis tecum. A subpoena gets a person into court. A subpoena ducis tecum gets that person into court with documents. Would result in the destruction, alteration, or concealment of such materials. This destruction of evidence exception would also apply to auditors. Stop number 2 is Guest v. Lee. Let's see if I can remember what Guest v. Lee was. Guest v. Lee was bulletin boards. Bulletin boards, I think. Am I going to remember where I'm at? Bulletin boards that were being used to peddle child porn and steal credit card information. Oh, good Lord. Where's it at? Yeah, there's two bulletin boards. The Cincinnati Computer Connection Bulletin Board and the Spanish Inquisition Bulletin Board. They were naughty, naughty people. Let's see if I can remember where to get it. Here we go. The Electronic Communications Privacy Act. No, Privacy Protection Act. Here we go. Plaintiffs claim the defendant seized materials intended for publication and thus violated the Privacy Protection Act, an act because the police, they took the whole computer. They didn't just take the incriminating bits. They took the whole damn thing. The statute was passed in response to Zurcher v. Stanford Daily. That's where the police got a warrant to search a newspaper to get photos of people who'd assaulted a police officer. And the PPA prohibits the government from seizing certain materials called work product materials, notwithstanding any other law, blah, blah, blah. Work product material means materials other than property used to commit a criminal offense that are used to communicate to the public and contain the author's impressions, opinions, conclusions, or theories. It also bars seizure of documentary materials which include materials like notes, photographs, or tapes other than things possessed for use in a criminal offense. The police may still access documentary materials with a subpoena, an option not available for work product materials. The suspect exception again comes into play. It must relate to the offense, and the offense must not involve the communication of the materials. So they assumed it was the seizure of the PPA materials occurred incidentally to the seizure of the evidence that they were looking for, and thus they were all good. Morse v. Regents of the University of California, Davis. This one was a winner for the plaintiff. He had his stuff taken without a good reason. He was not a suspect. He was a veteran journalist who was covering a demonstration, and they targeted him in order to obtain photographs that one police officer described as evidence of a crime. So now, before you jump all over this one as being unequivocal that Texas can't do it, this is under California law. California law may be different than Texas law. So there you go. Again, he brought a 42 U.S.C. 2000 claim. This time he did it against a supervisor, and California, or the Ninth Circuit, I should say, held that you can do a 42 U.S.C. Section 2000 AA claim. The problem for the defendants here was that they didn't have one of the exceptions. The journalist wasn't a criminal suspect, and the other problem was that they didn't have any good reason to think that this otherwise law-abiding journalist would not be available or would destroy the evidence from a subpoena. Then you got Shark. Shark has some good videos out there. You can agree or disagree with their politics, but I don't know, their videos are interesting to watch. In this particular case, Shark they wanted to catch evidence of a deer cull, because God knows humans never killed deer before in their lives or in their history. So they went to this park where the deer were going to be culled, and they installed cameras up in the trees. Now the park rangers found these cameras. They found one, and then they searched for the other 6. Or they searched for the others. They found 6 in total, I should say. And the reason for removing them is they have a policy for lost property, for found property, I should say. And they also have a policy against interfering with or damaging the trees. And they felt that both of these were in play. The court agreed with them. And then Shark made a funny little argument at the end. Sometimes you got to watch the arguments you make. They argue that there's a fact dispute about when the criminal investigation began. They said it began as soon as they found the first camera, and the court agreed with them. And the court thought that they were looking for evidence of the crime of interfering with the trees, trespass. And so they should be looking for the cameras, and they should be taking them because those are evidence of trespass. So Shark lost hard on this one, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever. They lost hard on it. Sennett. Oh, good. Oh, yes, Sennett. She was a photographer. She publishes stuff pretty commonly in journals and things like that. She publishes under the name of ISIS. She got word that a group of people were going to be protesting the monetary something fund. Doesn't really matter. They caught her on camera showing up around the same time as this group and leaving at roughly the same time as this group and leaving in roughly the same direction, dressed roughly the same. And she filmed it. And they figured out who she was and they took her stuff. And she said, "That's my work product." And they said, "You're a suspect." And the court agreed that she was a suspect. The court agreed that the criminal suspect with probable cause that it contained evidence of the crime. She was filming them committing crimes. So there you go. So she was a suspect. She was filming them committing crimes. They could seize it. They didn't have to use a subpoena to do it. And I don't know if the other exception, they could destroy it, or she would be likely to destroy it, or whatever. So there you go. There is 42 USC 2000 AA. As far as the case in Leon Valley is concerned, it does not appear that it would protect the police chief Salvaggio because, well, I don't know. Maybe it will, because he arrested them as suspects, but they weren't charged because they couldn't get probable cause. I don't think it will. I'm going to go that far. I don't think it's going to protect him. I think this is a weak spot in his armor. But I'm not entirely 100% sure because he did arrest him, I think, etc., etc. And it also does exempt for state law, I believe. All right, so, but this provision shall not appear if there's probable cause has committed a crime. All right, so this one, section 2 might fit. That's what it was. There we go. Brain not working correct. It's late. I get up early. I'm tired. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.